Hi everyone, welcome to Amaranth. Today's video will be a pico card reading for the collective. The cards here are whispering and the universe is ready to share a message just for you. So take a deep breath, quiet your mind for a moment and let your intuition guide you. Which of these three cards are you most drawn to? Just the first card your heart leans towards. There are no coincidences here. Your message is waiting. So if you chose the first card of telepathy, further it says non-verbal communication, energetic pulses, mind reading. So if you look at the picture, it shows two mermaids. They are, they're underwater, of course, and their eyes, they're looking at each other, right? Their eyes are locked in and they're forming this heart through which this beam is coming through. So now I feel that this, what they're seeing eye to eye. And I feel that they're able to connect mind to mind as well without using any kind of words, language, actions, whatever. So I feel that this is more about reading the room, reading the pulse in the room, understanding people with their expressions, even though they're not saying a single word. You're able to understand what they're thinking. It's almost scary, like you're almost able to read their mind. So some of you right now might have and might be so intuitive or might be so aligned with the people around you that it's not even funny, It's like, but the good thing about this is that this is your superpower. If you chose this card, this is your superpower for now because you're able to understand things deeply. You're able to read in between the lines. You have that confidence on your gut feelings, and you trust your gut feelings. So the good thing about this is that not only are you able to pick up on people's energies, but you're also able to, you're also able to understand things that people are not able to communicate. And, for those of us who are able to do that, it's a blessing, I would say. It absolutely is a superpower because we can read their mind, read their heart, and take those actions even before they say something. Like suppose somebody around you wants some support and you sense that and even without them asking, you offer it. And that's such a huge, comfort to the other person. So I do feel that you are, those of you that picked this, that chose this energy, you are in a very intuitive, highly intuitive state at this point in time. The only caveat with this is just be cautious that you don't misread people's signals, what they're trying to say. Because, sometimes we assume that we know what they're thinking. But I would say that the only way to, kind of tell that you are picking up the right signals is to get some kind of a confirmation from them. Like maybe you say it before they say it, or you drop a hint so that they pick it up. So that's the only caveat, that don't misread their, don't misread the room or their energies. Now, like for example, some of you might also be in this situation where you are sitting, where you're in an office space or a corporate space, or even if you're having like a board meeting or a group meeting or a team meeting, and you bounce an idea with the team and somebody does not respond, and they're sitting silent, and you think that if they have nothing to say, they're on board. So here comes the part where you misconstrue this energy. So it's better to, if you're able to read, it's always better to get the fact checked so that you're able to validate your own intuitive abilities. Like, yeah, I did feel it and it came out true. So it will add to your own confidence as well. And we know that how dolphins communicate, how, I mean, these are mermaids, these are not dolphins, but we know about similar, similar sea creatures that they talk via ecopolation. That's how I say it. I don't know how it says ecolocation. I think it's ecolocation. Yeah, ecolocation. So they they communicate via, ecolocation is the kind of I would say, the sound interpretation system where, the ecos are interpreted to understand the surroundings, the distance, and all of that. Now, for those of you who really want to enhance this, vibes, you can use a beautiful blue crystal. It's aquamarine, and that will actually boost this intuition capabilities for those of you interested. I don't want to do your due diligence on, if the crystal is real or fake, or if you want to use those energies, if you believe in those energies. So obviously this is related to the water element, and water element speaks to, subconscious, intuitive vibes, and of course our emotional landscape. But at the same time, because it's speaking of telepathy, which includes communication, it also includes an air element. So when air and water, now in this case, there is a lot of clarity, because there's air element, there's telepathy, there's an understanding without even saying a word. So there is an element of clarity, but it's non-verbal. So two people are very empathic here. They're able to understand each other. So, but the thing is that, when these capabilities are heightened, it just overwhelms the person. It just overwhelms us. So make sure that, you take periodic breaks and you're not completely consumed by this energy. So, you need to wash away. You need to take salt water baths. You need to sage your place. You need to use some essential oils and wash away those energies that you pick up, especially if you are in this. Now, with this energy, I feel that, either you have built this through some kind of a practice, maybe you're meditating and things like that, or some spiritual practice, or maybe, once you discover that you are in this energy, you might want to enhance it. So some of you might be exploring some workshops in regards to understanding about this a little bit more, maybe some mindfulness, maybe some psyche workshops, or maybe just going to some retreats where you can connect better with the nature, with people and things like that. So some of you could be trying that as well. If you've seen the movie Arrival, it's a beautiful movie in regards to this telepathic vibes where there's communication with an alien, and it's non-verbal. You check out that movie Arrival, I really like, and see the character Louis Banks, and that completely resonates with this energy. Or we can also invite these energies, or take away, I think, a tuba listening to the song. I think it's called Telepathy. Telepathy, yes. Christina Aguilera has this beautiful song, which is completely about, and it's a beautiful song, Telepathy, by Christina Aguilera. So listen to it if you are interested. So I do feel that some of you might also be picking up on your children's energies. Like, what are they going to say? You can almost feel it, and almost all moms can do that, but I feel that you have some kind of a vibe, an intuitive hit. Even maybe your child is at a distance, maybe they're playing outside and you still feel, you can pick up the energies, or maybe they are in a different sea or different place. You can still pick up some kind of energy. So some of you might be in that space as well. Um, but I feel that, to be in this energy is a blessing as well, I would say, because we're able to negotiate with people. Like, if they are, if there is, if they are, if you pick up on their energies, if you can almost read their mind, we can kind of not only just offer some support, but, navigate that or negotiate. Like, okay, suppose you picked up on somebody's energy that they don't want to have pizza today, and you're like, oh, you know what, even I don't, and the rest of the group wants to have pizza, and you're like, oh, you know what, pizza, I think I'm on a pizza detox today, so let's go someplace else, and you save the day for the other person. Or somehow I feel even the sports people, when they're in scattered on fields, they can intuitively pick up on their teammates, the moves they're gonna make. They can almost read their minds. And I've seen so many power moves on the fields, soccer fields or football fields, where people just pick up on their energies, of their teammates or the next moves. So I feel that further down it says here, dive into your inner ocean. Telepathy awaits those who listen with the heart. Now, if you pick the second card, this is the card number, let's see, 33, master number 33, and it says further experiments. Further, it says manipulation of nature, forcing change, cruelty in the pursuit of knowledge, and arrogance. Whoa, this is a little bit of a mixed energy. If you see this mermaid, she's sitting in a little bit of a dark lab, and there's a lot of, vials out there that have bubbles in it and some kind of twisted sea creatures. Now I cannot see her face because she's facing the underside, but because it's a little bit of a dark card, there's no light in this. I mean, there's gray areas, but there's no light. So I feel that it's a little bit of a mixed energy. And especially when below it says manipulation of nature, forcing change, cruelty for knowledge, arrogance, I feel that, this card is encouraging, more of ethos in the workplace, in especially if you're related within profession, related to the marine life or the sea, ocean, beaches, or labs, even because there's a lot of miles out here, maybe biolabs, chemical labs, or, if you're, doesn't have to be a lab, it just could be something that you're trying to research up or create or innovate. So it's more about having the integrity and ethos while you're innovating or creating or researching. So it's just that like whatever you're researching up, whatever ideas you have, it's putting them into use or creating something out of it which does not harm anybody, let alone the water creatures, let alone harming the marine life or nature. It's like it's the solution or whatever you come up with, the outcome, the project, the product, it should not harm the people, the consumers, by any means. So if you are in that energy of, trying out different things, experimenting, but you're not sticking to good ethics or high, the standard practices or gold practices, then even though if you did not wish harm, it might cause some form, unintentionally even. So I do feel that, a lot of tests need to be performed, a lot of safety tests, compliance tests need to be performed on any gadget, on any research, on any product. It needs to be tested time and time again. It needs to be repeatedly tested on different segments or sections of the community if it's for use of the community, or if it's an electronics thing or a computer thing or a chemical thing. Again, it needs to be tested for any hazards, for any damage to the nature, to environment, to seas, ocean creatures, and things like that. Now, some of you could be working in biotech firms, even. It's the kind of image that I'm getting, like, working with genes, this sort of gene studies and research and testing that's being done in terms of cure for ailments, diseases, whatever that is. A lot of innovation, a lot of new age, what do you call, companies are coming up with different kind of processes, theories, and all of that. So some of you might be in the biotechnology as well. I also feel that some of you might be trying some kind of I would say like kind of diet extensions, or using a lot of herbs, or using a lot of I would say marine things in your food. Maybe you're having a lot of seafood, or maybe you're having something extracted from the biomarine animals, or you're doing a lot of fermentation at home. Something to have good proteins, have omegas, and just for overall health boost and immunity boosts. So I do feel that some of you might be into that as well, or trying up new recipes in regards to, maybe you're experimenting with recipes or experimenting with food. And that could be for some of you. Now, forcing change is not a great idea. It's like when we ingest chemicals and hormones and, make things grow bigger and larger than size, by ingesting, so many things going on. That's something I feel it should not be done, because that's one way of forcing the change, right? It's forcing growth. Some plants don't grow to that size normally, but then through use of some GMOs and artificial things, some of the plant is made to grow larger in size. So that's not really healthy, those kind of altered produce and things like that. So be mindful of that if you're consuming that, or if by any means you're in any ways related to that industry, then it's maybe that you can work alternate ways out. I also feel that, watch the movie Frankenstein. I really love that, it speaks about forced changes. Then Victor Frankenstein is a character to watch him closely, and you'd understand what forced change looks like. Or you can even, I like the song Mad Scientist, for those of you that have heard it. It's a beautiful song by a group known as Zolas. Zolas is a beautiful group, and hear the song Mad Scientist. I think you'll pick up a thing or two in regards to this energy, and in regards to experimentation and innovation and ethics as well. Now, in regards to this, I also recall that in some cities, the builders are kind of forcing eco upgrades on older structures. A lot of cities are now, of course, they are trying to upgrade the older buildings and have more, green retrofitted in them. But somehow it's not fitting into the structural makeup of the building, and it's causing a lot of structural issues. So that's one way of, when we force change, it's not a good idea. Now, another way to look at it is, sometimes athletes or who knows, some sports people who are training, they might try some, diets which are a little bit controversial in the medical world. So they keep experimenting with their bodies, with their muscle, with the food, the diet, the exercise, weights, and all of that, because they want to perform better, or they want to put on weight, or they want to reduce weight, or they want to, whatever they want to do with their bodies. They kind of experiment with the different kind of diets and exercise regimes and all that. So that also has a connotation, a consequence, I would say. So be mindful of that. Now, some of you can be in the energy of changing habits. That's a forced change. Old habits die hard, and when we practice a new mindset or a new habit that we want to develop, for 60 days, 90 days, if you want to incorporate some kind of a habit change, which is really difficult, so that is one way of forcing change, bringing that into your routine for the better. Now, at the end, it also says arrogant. So I'm saying some kind of, egotistical energy comes in between, especially when we're experimenting. We're discovering, we are creating. Yes, it's a good thing because we are learning so much. We are creating, we are, pioneers, we are curious, we are confident. Sometimes it could get into overconfidence. It could become overconfidence, especially if you see things are shipping up and a lot of new growth is happening. So, it might get sometimes to overhead. I'm not saying it is for you, but then if that happens, there's potential for that of disagreements, arguments, conflicts, if it's not checked immediately. So be mindful of that as well. Now, if you pick the card number 3, this is card number 14. Number 1, 4, and 5 is coming too strong with this energy. It further says water flight. Below that it says heaviness, lift, burdens are cast away, weightlessness. So if you can see in the picture, there is a mermaid, happy mermaid, I would say, just floating away, just floating away in the ocean. And, she's rising from the depths. And, she's just waiting her tail, so happy, feeling so light. The burdens are gone, they're floating away. You see the bubbles? I feel those are her burdens that are floating away. And it just gives a very serene, peaceful, light energy. So I do feel that this is a time for, it's for those of you who selected this card. I think in the next few days, you will be becoming stress-free. You will be releasing any kind of stress, feeling more free. Maybe you have more time at hand, or maybe you have more energy because the stress is gone. And I feel that if it was due to, any kind of you were worrying about something, I feel that you will be able to word those things out. Now, this energy is not about, running away from responsibilities or drifting away into the la-la land. So, even if, the caveat with this energy is that, you might be feeling a little bit, burdened by your job. It's burning you out. It's draining you. Evaluate, what would it take for you to leave this job? Do you have a backup rate? Do you have a second job? Do you have a sidekick? Whatever option can you make available for yourself before you actually quit on the job that's tiring you out? Because if you just drop it without a plan B, you might, have some financial burdens. You'll again be buried in financial burdens. So I feel that, definitely there is like a liberating vibe, but it's just that we need to be mindful with our actions. So evaluate the situation from every perspective before you switch jobs and take on any more burdens, or drop one weight and pick up another. Now, I'm also picking up of scuba diving. Maybe some of you are into swimming or enjoying by the poolside. It's also giving me a vibe of, it looks like a movie. So some of you might be watching some movies that are in regards to water or underwater and things like that. If not, then you could be trying some, water therapy, healing therapy, sea salt bathing, full moon bathing, and those kind of rituals. At this point in time, yes, a lot of moon rituals that are available, and that helps soak in the energy and the light of the moon and heal in some way. There is a lot of spiritual tourism that is available today. It's going on, and I think I've brought up some places. Bali is one of them. They have these ceremonies. I think it's called burden releasing ceremonies. So don't quote me on that. Check up if, because that's what I had read some time back, that some city, might not be Bali, don't quote me on that either. It could be some other place. They're actually having these kind of spiritual retreats and burden releasing ceremonies. And, there's tourism which is moving around that, especially, in this era after the rough pandemic era, we would say. This kind of tourism has also taken flight. Now, others of you might be trying some kind of detox. Maybe you're doing a digital detox. Maybe you're doing a dietary detox, or things like that. Or, this also gives me the vibe of gymnastics, some kind of aerial gymnastics is what I'm picking up on. You can, in the movie Up, there's a beautiful movie Up. There is a character out there. It's called Cole Fredrickson, and that guy over there, when the in the movie, it's all about the burdens lifting when the balloon, using the balloon flight, when the balloon takes flight. Or you can even listen to, I would say, Weightlessness, and it's a beautiful, weightless than weightlessness, weightless. It's a song by Marconi Union, and it's a beautiful song of, letting go. You can even listen to Let It Go. The song Let It Go, to bring in this energy. So I do feel that some of you might be, taking to water therapy. You might be scuba diving. You might be trying some kind of sports, water sports. What's it called? Wave surfing. And that actually helps with unburdening. Or you might be hearing about some kind of, events around you, or news around you, where activists are actually, supporting the mental health, in order to have a healthy, what is that, EQ and mental health, so that we don't get stressed and burdened by things, by situations. Now, for some of you, you might be decluttering your house and feeling lighter, or some of you might actually be shedding some weight. Some of you might be, I would say, maybe you are downsizing and you're feeling like, the weights of bigger homes, of maintaining bigger homes. Or even I would just say cleaning up your house, you're in decluttering, when we tidy up a messy room, it instantly feels lit up and light at the same time. Or this could also be, where you are forgiving some kind of grudge or negative experience, so that you can just release it and feel unburdened by those thoughts. Further down it says here, let your spirit take flight, burdens dissolve in the ocean's embrace, revealing boundless skies. So, that was the energy of the water flight for those of you who picked up the third card. So thank you guys for joining, and hope you enjoyed your pick a card.